Hello everyone, welcome to my video class. Today I will discuss an important topic in SHM, that is the forced oscillation and resonance. A forced harmonic oscillator is also called a driven harmonic oscillator. Usually some driving force will be required to maintain the oscillations of a harmonic oscillator. This is because when particle is executing simple harmonic motion, there will be air resistance or some other dissipative forces which will reduce the energy of oscillations as the time progresses. So oscillations will die out due to this damping force, which is actually proportional to the velocity. So oscillation will die out due to this damping force like air friction, which is due to viscosity of air, and this damping force is found to be proportional to the velocity. So damping force is against the velocity and proportional to velocity. That is why this negative sign comes here. We know that frictional force due to viscous force on a sphere is 6 pi eta AV, where eta is the coefficient of viscosity and A is the radius of the sphere. So in addition to the minus kx force, that of a harmonic oscillator, we have got a additional force a minus BV also acting, that is the frictional force or damping force, which reduces the amplitude of oscillation. Now suppose in order to maintain oscillation, we are supplying a force which is also oscillating. We are providing some force which is F0 sin Pt. So that force is also oscillating with the time period 2 pi by p. This p and omega etc. are called angular frequency in the terminology of SHM. So total force acting on the particle will be, this is the force due to SHM, this is the damping force, this is the driving force. Now we can substitute Newton's equation F is equal to ma and rearrange this equation. Then we will get this second order differential equation with the constant coefficients, and that is inhomogeneous second order differential equation with the constant coefficients. It is inhomogeneous because right hand side is not 0. We have the forcing term on the right hand side which depends upon the time t. Before solving this differential equation, let us rearrange this equation a little bit. We can make the coefficient of second derivative 1 by dividing the entire equation by mass of the particle. And for convenience, let us take this b by m coefficient as some 2 gamma, and let us take this k by m as omega 0 square, and this F0 is the amplitude of the driving force, and let us take this F0 by m as small f0. So we finally arrive at this particular equation, which is a second order differential equation with constant coefficients and inhomogeneous. There is a standard method of solving this problem in mathematics, but we use physical intuition to solve this differential equation using some intelligent guess, which is called a trial solution. Trial solution is actually an intelligent guess of the solution. If that is the correct solution, then it will solve the differential equation. Here the physical intuition behind this trial solution is that if we try to oscillate something by some force, then the particle will vibrate with a time period which will be the time period of the forcing term. So we assume that the particle is vibrating similar to the forcing term. The forcing term is sin pt. So this is also vibrating with the sin pt, but it may be lagging behind the forcing term by an angle phi. So we put that phi here. And suppose the amplitude of oscillation is A. So this is a trial solution, and if this is a genuine solution, then we will be able to find what is this A and what is this phi. If we are able to do that, then this trial solution is actually the solution of the differential equation. That is the technique we are using here to solve this second order differential equation. Now let us substitute this trial solution x equal to a sin pt minus phi in this differential equation. Then we will get so many terms on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we have got f0 sin pt. For manipulating with this term, we add and subtract phi here. So here this is minus phi and this is plus phi, so that again it becomes a sin pt. And on the RHS we can also use the equation for sin a plus b by taking this pt minus phi as a and this as b. So you can use the equation for sin a plus b and obtain the RHS in this way. Now let us compare the coefficient of sin pt minus phi on the LHS and RHS. Then we will get this equation. And if you compare the coefficients of cos pt minus phi on LHS and RHS, then you will get the second equation, from which we can solve for a and phi. In this way, the first equation is obtained by squaring and adding these equations. Then we will get cos square phi plus sin square phi on the right hand side, which can be taken as 1. So phi is eliminated, from which you can solve for a, and you will obtain a like this. And if you divide the second equation by the first equation, then on the RHS you get a tan phi. So tan phi will be given by this formula. Therefore our trial solution x equal to a sin pt minus phi is actually solving this differential equation, or it is actually the solution of this differential equation, provided a and phi are given by these equations 6 and 7.